What's going on, everybody? Brick here, and welcome back to another episode of Hypixel subscribers. If you guys do enjoy, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. It's very much appreciated. But today we're going to be talking about motivation. So to kick things off, basically, I've been planning this giant trip for a week. I don't know, maybe it's not giant for some people, but I thought this was going to be a pretty big trip, and it was great. But that's besides the point, because the topic of today's video is motivation. And so initially, what happened was, when this trip was coming up, I, of course, like I do all the time, is save my pre-recorded videos till about like 2 days before I have to go. That's just how I always do it. I don't know why, but every single time I go on a trip, that's how I always end up doing it. And I do manage to somehow achieve it. I'm not 100% sure how. But, so I had to record 1 to 3 videos every single day for a week. Plus I wanted to record the day before and the day after in advance, so that way I wouldn't have to worry about those days, so I could still take, I guess, an extra extended break sort of thing. But it really isn't a break. But so I had to film at least, it was a ton of videos. It was way over 10 videos, so it was a lot to film in 2 days. Because, I mean, as much as I do love filming, it's difficult to film that many videos in that short of time, being as I still had to do other preparations for the trip. But I did somehow manage to do this, because I did have videos after the trip. And I did, at one point, consider just scrapping any of the videos that I had recorded, like when I was halfway through, and said, let's just call it quits and not upload for a week. But I decided that would be a really dumb move since, you guys expect content from me, and I get that, that's sort of what I do. I'm supposed to put out content, that's like my end of the bargain, So, I mean, I wasn't going to just not put out content thinking about it now. Like, that would not have been a good move, because, like, why would that happen, like, why do I just give up? I can't do that sort of thing. But, so what happened from there is I got my videos out, and at the end of that, editing all those videos, uploading, thumbnailing, all of those, which, I mean, as much as I love doing YouTube, it is a grind. Like, there's a reason that the YouTube grind is, like, literally a YouTube meme at this point. Because it's a thing. You either, like, you grind all the way up, or you don't go anywhere, basically. It's kind of like the system. Which, whether or not you think it's a broken system is besides the point. That could possibly be a topic for another video. But, so essentially, I felt a little bit burned out after filming all those videos, having to make that many different ideas, commentating for that long a time, all that stuff. It was great, but at the same time, it did get me a little bit burned out. Thankfully, though, I feel like that now I'm a bit more motivated than I've ever been on YouTube, which is a very good feeling, because I don't think I've ever been more motivated than at the beginning of my channel in a really long time. But I've initially felt this new burst of motivation, and I feel like it's like the greatest thing ever. Because the way motivation works is when you don't have it, it's like, it's still there, just not visible. Like, the way I look at it is motivation doesn't ever go away. It just sometimes doesn't make itself seen. And sometimes you have to dig harder for it. So essentially what happened was, I mean, I went to my trip and it was all, great and grand, I guess you could say. I had fun on the trip, obviously, being able to do things outside of YouTube. But still miss the platform and my whole, like, content creation process and all that, since I do thoroughly enjoy it. Because if I didn't, I would not have made over 500 videos and have been doing this for a really long time at this point. Almost multiple years, actually. But that's besides the point, I guess, because that's not really specific to motivation. So I was feeling a little bit demotivated before the trip, and I come back and I have this new burst of motivation, and it's just like, it's a new era, is the way I look at it. Like, I'm more motivated now. I'm going to be more passionate. There's going to be a lot more content coming out, lots more new different things. I'm trying new series, doing new things. I'm trying to spice up some things, all of that stuff. It's going to be great. And I'm super excited for it. Hopefully you guys are as well. But nothing that, I have previously done is going away. If anything, it's just being added more. And I mean, even though if I was... See, I'm not going to say that I was demotivated this time, because demotivated is kind of a term that I don't even ever think is practical. Because you can't really be demotivated. It's just your motivation isn't really, like, apparent at that time. But I don't think you can ever go away, like, from your motivation. It's always there. It just sometimes doesn't make itself seen. And sometimes you have to fight to get that motivation out. That's the way, like, I look at it. It's a bit of an interesting theory, but I like it. So, of course, I mean, even though this, I guess, demotivated state I was in, is still something that I was pretty passionate still for YouTube. I was still making my tons of videos. I was still putting in the same effort, and I wasn't, feeling, I guess, like it was a waste of time. Because, I mean, YouTube's, like, literally, like, a big portion of my life, and I always want it to be. As long as it, can be, I guess. I'm going to keep it there. But, so, essentially what happened was, I felt a little bit demotivated, but not completely, because, like, it doesn't go away, as I've said before. That's just my theory. But, so I did all that, and a little bit less motivated than normal, I guess, because, I mean, I have been putting a lot of effort into the channel, And I guess growth has sort of stopped on the channel, but I don't really look at numbers. But some people have been just pointing it out to me, and it's just something that I did want to, quickly address because, some people are thinking that that's why it is, and I really don't think it is. I think it's just that I got in this groove, and it felt like it wasn't a creative process anymore. It felt more of a, hey, you just do the same thing over and over again, and that's not what I want. I want to be creative with it. That's what it is. YouTube is like my creative outlet, and I want it to stay that way. So the fact that it wasn't kind of got me, demotivated. So, that was definitely a thing. But thankfully that's ended because, I came back from my trip more rejuvenated than ever. I've had tons of new ideas for stuff I want to do, and just tons of new opportunities that are going to be happening. I have been starting to do some things with reviving the channel and reviving certain things, as well as forming new things and reforming some of the bad and fixing it up, just making it even better, I think. But overall, I'm just really excited for the future, and hopefully my motivation doesn't stop. I doubt it will, though, because, I've had it for well over a year, and the fact that I just started to slowly, I guess, dwindle is, in my opinion, impressive, because after making well over 300 videos in a year, and, getting somewhat, decent support and all that stuff, I'm pretty happy with it. I don't think that, the numbers matter to me, but, your guys' comments, all that stuff really does help me out. It really makes my day better. But, some people would get demotivated at this point, and I'm just really glad I didn't. I'm glad that I'm still motivated and I'm still happy, and I'm still proud of what I'm doing, I'm not gonna stop it. But, now I'm finally back in a state where I'm really motivated and I'm really excited for the future. And I just can't wait to see what happens to come to the Cast Central channel. It's gonna be great. So if you guys did enjoy this motivation talk, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. And remember that you can always find your motivation because it never really goes away. It just sometimes is hidden. So do me a favor and try to find your motivation for something that matters in your life, because that's how you succeed. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!